What's going on, everyone? Vince the Lawn Engineer here. I'm super excited. In this video we've got something very special, and it has to do with that right there, if you can take a hint. Got a truckload full of goodies. I'm heading out to Lancaster, Pennsylvania. We're gonna meet up with a good friend of mine. It's gonna be an exciting day, so stay tuned. What's going on? Who's this guy?
What's happening?
Oh man. Hey, I gotta ask you a question. How do you get the lawn to look like this?
Oh, this is AstroTurf.
So what we're doing today is leveling the lawn. This is Vince's lawn. It looks absolutely amazing. It's a Kentucky bluegrass and regenerative perennial ryegrass blend. And what we're gonna be doing is taking this load of sand and pretty much spreading it all throughout the yard and leveling it out. But there are a few steps that you gotta take in advance before just dumping sand on it. So that's why we have the help with the Swardman mowers back here and all of their attachments. All right, so the first thing we're gonna be doing is running this groomer attachment over the entire yard. And I've got Vince here. This is his yard.
What's going on, everybody?
Awesome lawn, by the way.
Thank you.
Wait, hold on. Keep off the grass, of course. We will try our best to keep off it. That's more for the FedEx guy who just came by.
And he did. He went up the driveway, so we're good. It's working.
That's awesome. So why the groomer attachment? Why are we going with that one first? And then what is our next attachment? And what's kind of sort of like the step-by-step to achieving what you want today on your lawn with the sand leveling?
Yeah, so the groomer basically will lift all the grass blades in the lawn. So it lifts it up that way. Sometimes a lot of greens mowers will have the groomer plus the blade reel on there. So you're lifting up the grass blades. That way when you go back, you can get a better cut. Similar to the verticutter, it could cut some of the lateral growth in here. So, and that'll just promote a healthier lawn. So that's what we're gonna try. We're gonna try the groomer, we're gonna try the verticutter and see what each of them really do. Because I've never used it, so I'd like to see it firsthand instead of just reading about them. So we're gonna do that. Then we're gonna go back and we're gonna mow it at a 1/2 inch. Ideally, you wanna mow if you can get your lawn down, especially a lower cut turf, down to 1/2 inch, it just makes spreading sand so much easier. The lawn is pretty level from the renovation from last year, but you know, put a little bit of sand down. This is masonry sand. It's not kiln dried sand like golf courses use. So you get what you can get. Put that down, just a light layer. 1 yard per 1,000 square foot is what they're recommending. So that's what I'm doing here. And then we'll use a couple more attachments and level her out.
Nice, awesome, awesome. So here we have the Swardman Electra with the groomer attachment on it right now. And then over here we have the Edwin, and this has the Scarifier attachment on. So we'll be using all these attachments. One thing to note though is that the attachments are not, I guess you can call them like backwards compatible, right? So if you've got an Edwin mower, you need to get attachments for the Edwin mower. If you've got an Electra, you need to get the attachments for the Electra. So Lanzi, the authorized dealer in the United States for Swardman mowers, was gracious enough to let us borrow all of this equipment and all of the attachments.
Borrow? I thought they gave it to me.
So they let us borrow everything here. Really gracious of them to let us borrow everything and even open up all these products. Some of them are brand new in the box, never been opened. So thank you, Lanzi, for that. Really appreciate it. Let's get started.
Hope they don't think this is a yard
We
sale.
got some looky-loos over here. Looky-loos, looky-loos.
St. Connor Ward. Keep moving.
Keep moving. Swardman Electra, Swardman Edwin 2.1. We're gonna have a lot of fun with these guys today. Vince behind the camera again. Hey, Vince, where can people find you?
They can find me at, well, I can't give you my address, but you can find me online at rootalonco.com. Has a whole bunch of links. I have a YouTube, I have an Instagram, I have a TikTok. I think that's all the major platforms. So go check out Rootalonco on Instagram and all those good things. Hopefully you can get a good laugh and watch some satisfying mows.
Oh yeah, man, it's awesome stuff. You know, I love his content, and make sure you go check it out. Everything will be linked in the description down below. So what we're doing next is we are switching out the scarifier attachment with the verticutter, because we actually are going to be running machines side by side here. On the Electra, we've already installed the groomer. On the Edwin, we're going to be putting the verticutter attachment. So we're grooming. And the reason why we're grooming is because we want to pick up the grass. The grass is just a little bit laid down, and we want to make sure we pick it up, because what we're going to do next is we are going to cut the grass, and we're actually going to do a little bit of a height of cut reset, going from 0.6 inches down to 0.5. And that's going to set us up for the sand leveling, which we're going to do in a moment here. All right, look at that.
How are your stripes?
Ah,
A little wavy.
wavy.
It's all right.
The one thing I like about this is how quiet it is. And it feels super smooth. There's no harsh vibrations or anything. It's relatively, I would say it's almost whisper quiet. I mean, you know, you do hear it, but compared to, say, the residential battery mowers on the market right now, where those are more rotary, they're spinning around, they're whipping around pretty good, you're hearing a lot of more like that fan blade type sound, where this, being more of a cylinder type of cut and operation, it's way quieter. And it's actually really nice. I really enjoy using this Electra mower. All right, so we are now mowing with the Edwin 2.1 with a verticutter attachment. Looking pretty good, man. Look at that. The verticutter's doing a nice job of picking things up. Not too bad. The groomer was over here. So you do get less, I'll call them tines, on the verticutter than you do on the groomer. But I think they're ultimately accomplishing the same thing. I do think with the groomer, because you do have more blades or tines, you probably don't have to do as many passes. You can probably complete it in just one pass. With the verticutter, I'm noticing Vince is actually going over the same spot twice, just slightly offset to make up for, you know, that distance in the blades. Now the verticutter too is also meant to cut deeper into the soil, where the groomer is really just meant to like lift up that grass blade and kind of groom the grass. So we're kind of using the verticutter for a little bit of a different use than what you might really want to be using it for. Just figured we'd give it a try and see how it goes. So why the 10 blade reel?
The 10 blade reel, the lower you cut the turf, the more blades you want to have. So most greens are running a 14 blade, and I run this at 3/4 to 1 inch, so you actually want a less blade reel. So I run an 8 blade, but for this one we're gonna go 1/2 inch, so 10 blade reel will do just fine.
Cool. All right, well, let's put it on and let's mow it.
Let's do it. Oh, that's a thing of beauty.
Oh, look at that. Would you look at that? Oh, we gotta take these nuts off.
Oh yeah, they come with more nuts. So now we gotta set the height of cut.
There we go. Need your handy dandy tool. All right, so tell us about this tool. Why do you need something like this to set the height of cut on a mower?
So this is from R&R Products. They sell ones that are non-digital with like a little gauge on it, but this one has a little gauge. You set your drum and your roller on here, and that, depending on your, you set that on the lip of your reel, and it'll tell you what exactly measurement you are.
That's cool. All right, let's do it.
Yep.
All right, should we do the paper check?
Oh.
Oh, look at this. Oh, you got the actual paper too. Oh, butter. Oh. Oh.
There we go.
Nice.
Oh man.
Can you tell the difference? This is the difference between 0.6 and 0.5 inches. And it makes all the difference. Oh man, look at that. Look at those stripes, man. Woo. That looks amazing already. We haven't even done the sand leveling yet, and already it looks amazing. I mean, the stripes from the verticutter, I mean, that did a great job. Now we're cutting with the 10 blade reel. Absolutely phenomenal. That looks so cool. One of the other cool things I like to see is the difference in height, the height of cut along the yard here. So here you can see we just brought this down to a 1/2 inch, and then over here he's telling me this is cut at like 2 1/4. And then over here, which is his neighbor's grass, we start entering the weed territory. Much taller.
You're gonna need to redo that pass.
What's that? That's terrible.
What is that?
That's terrible. I gotta fix that. Hold on. Is that better?
A little better.
Little better. Little better. All right, so mowing with a reel mower is actually not that easy. I mean, using the Swardman is easy. When you're mowing down 1/10 of an inch, we were at 0.6, we brought it down to 0.5. You can hardly see where you cut. At least I couldn't see it. This was really my first time mowing with a reel mower, a powered reel mower. I have used the Electra in the past. That was really when we were in the winter dormancy when I used that. I did a few Instagram reels and stuff on it, but I didn't really get a chance to mow with it. Here, we're actually mowing with it, and the stripes look amazing from here. But when you turn around, because the sun's directly above us here, when you turn around and you look at it, you can hardly see the stripes. So when you're coming and mowing and doing your passes, when you go in this direction, you can kind of lose where your track of mowing is. So, but I want to know who mowed better, because Vince from Rooted mowed the left side here. I mowed the right side. We kind of swapped about right here. So I want to know who did it better. Let us know in the comments down below. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is dump all this sand all over the yard here. We have the wheelbarrows. We'll, take a couple wheelbarrows and start just, setting them down along the yard here. And then we'll come back.
Hey,
yo.
will you quit yapping?
Oh man, we got to get moving here.
Man.
We got to get moving. I'm actually on a time crunch, so we're trying to do this as fast as we can so I can get out of here. I got to pick up my kids, but we're having a good time out here. We're going to spread everything out, level it, and then I guess we're going to run it over with the brush.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it, man. Enough talking. Let's get going. Ooh, man. So I just love the ingenuity here. You got to see this setup here. And if you are a YouTuber or influencer, you understand what this is like. But Vince here, he's setting up his time lapse and he's got this awesome rig. Go through your rig with us.
So back when I bought the house, I had an extra umbrella stand. So
Nice.
we kept that.
That is awesome.
This is the extension to my patio set. This is an old pole saw, and this is my GoPro.
That is awesome. That's not going anywhere. This is probably the best, I guess, monopod setup you can get. I love that. Look at this. Who needs a drone? We can get this awesome pole saw extension to hook your GoPro up to. So we're just putting these small piles down. We're gonna level it out with the level rake. Definitely a workout. All right, another question. Uh-oh. Is there any science to where you place the sand? Or is it just as easy as just throwing it down?
Pretty much as easy as just throwing her down.
Throw her down.
Throw her down, smooth her out. It is wet, which makes it a little harder.
Ah, yeah, you don't really want to work with wet sand. It's heavier, and it's also harder to get it down to the soil layer, as it clumps. But this right here, it's not entirely dry. It's got some moisture to it, but it's not clumping all that much. Now, did you let this sand sit for a while, or you just got it yesterday, right?
Just got it.
Yeah. Another question for you. Did you source the sand? Did you do research to find a facility that had the sand to your liking and then decide to get the sand from that location? Or did you just find a local guy who has it and they called him up and just ordered it?
Last year I looked into where I can get sand where I couldn't, and I could not get kiln dried sand up here. What I could get was Jersey sand, and it's masonry sand. So
you kind of got to go by feel, right? You get to a point where you're it's time to start leveling. Let's see where we're at. Maybe put some more sand down, right?
yeah, it was already pretty smooth, so
should be pretty easy, right?
yeah.
Now, what was it like the first time you did this? As part of the renovation, we'll call it.
Well, that was before I renovated, and it didn't make too big of a difference because it was still there's still a lot of undulations that needed to be resolved from topsoil.
Right. Oh man, this looks incredible, man. It's gonna be time to use the level rakes, smooth all this out, and then get it down into that soil layer with the brush attachment. Here we've got the brush attachment. This one's for the Electra right here. We also have the brush attachment for the Edwin. That's in that box right there. So we'll be unboxing that. Probably gonna put it on the Edwin. We'll probably work with the Edwin. Hey, real quick question. When you're done sand leveling, how long do you have to wait to mow it?
I'm gonna wait a good bit. That's why I took it down to 1/2 inch. I'll let it get up to about 1 inch, a little over it, and actually use my rotary, because you don't want to be putting a blade on the grass with the sand, or else you'll dull the blade.
Right, immediately.
Instantly.
Right. All right, so we've got some leveling to do, and we're just gonna get started here. Just pushing it around, knocking down the piles. I'll tell you what, this makes it a lot easier. What would you do without one of these level tools?
You could use a broom, you could use a leveling, like a landscape rake right behind you, but these tools are money. It just floats right on top, gets everything down in there nicely.
All right, so why the landscape rake?
This is just smoothing everything out, getting all the big piles knocked down. It's got a wider area instead of a smaller rake.
Right, right.
So I mean, I could come back like that and it creates a nice smooth.
Right.
But this kind of just helps get down into the soil.
Looks like you got a little like Zen garden going on here.
Yeah, I was doing some crop circles, a rooted special, right?
You're right. I mean, it's not as hard as it looks. I mean, if you got the right tools, it just makes it that much more enjoyable, faster, more efficient, and it helps you get it done correctly. So we're still working the sand into the grass. You can see we've made good progress here. This is all with the Landsea Ryan Knorr lawn level. To help knock down the piles and then also help dry out the sand. It wasn't too bad, but there was some moisture to it. But a really dry sand really helps to get down into that soil layer. We used, I don't know if you can see it over here, but we used this landscaping rake right here. So that's where you can see all these grooves to knock down those piles. It kind of looks like a Zen garden. So that knocked everything down. Everything is dry or drying right now. And then I followed behind him with the level rake, and we're working that in right now. Then we'll come in with the brush attachment on the Edwin 2.1. We'll run over everything here and we'll be done. Woo, man. Works it right in. Woo, man.
That does a good job.
You like that,
That
huh?
does a good job.
Not too bad.
We would still be raking.
We would be.
Now,
yeah.
some of those small spots here, you can just take a broom, some of the higher areas, just work it in. It's also really wet sand.
That's true. Yeah, I could see the color difference. Yes.
So I'll probably let this
Darker
dry,
there.
come out tomorrow, and knock some of these areas down and have better success with getting it down in there.
Dude, that looks really good. I mean, just look at that, man. So we used the groomer attachment on both mowers. I was mostly running with the Edwin, Vince was running with the Electra. And look, there's a couple spots that we still need to get down, but it looks amazing. And in just a short couple weeks, maybe 1-2 weeks, this is all going to grow. You won't see any of that sand. It's going to look absolutely incredible. And this will just continue to dominate the neighborhood here. Like you don't even believe. It's absolutely amazing what this lawn looks like. Whew. Vince has done a great job here. So we've finished everything. It looks absolutely incredible. I was really impressed with the equipment we used today, the Swardman equipment. Thank you to Andrew and the folks over at Landsy for not only letting us borrow the equipment, but for also letting us and trusting me and letting us borrow your truck and trusting me with driving it, putting over 200 miles on it. Really appreciate that, Andrew. Thank you so much. Vince, what do you think? Are you satisfied?
I am. Yeah. You know, the mower worked awesome. All the different attachments did exactly what they needed to do. I was impressed with the groomer and the verticutter, and I was amazed of how much that was just kind of buried in the canopy there that it brought up for us. And then we hit it a 1/2 inch with the 10-blade reel, and it had an awesome cut. But I think the best thing about all these products was that brush, because we were raking away, and then you're just like, I'm gonna get the brush, and we got the brush attachment on, and it just brought everything down. Some of this stuff still needs to be worked in. It's a little heavy in some spots, but and it's a little wet, but that made work quick.
Oh yeah, the brush was nice, absolutely. Before we close out, I do want to present you with a few gifts from Landsy. We have here the fork aerator. We didn't open this, but yes, you can keep this.
How about that?
And the lawn level tool.
The lawn level tool.
Go ahead and keep that.
You know, that's funny, because I was just saying that, man, I have a lot more to do yet. It'd be nice to have one of these. Well,
yeah, well, there you go, man.
All right.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for joining. If you have any questions, as always, leave them down in the comments below. Again, thank you, Vince from Rooted Lawn Co. Really appreciate it. Thank you for having me out here. I had a great time. You have a fantastic lawn. Honestly, probably one of the best lawns I have ever seen. Probably one of the best lawns in our lawn care community. So make sure you are following him.
What's
Instagram.
That Mountain View Seed.
Oh, Mountain View Seed, man. It's really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Make sure you're following Vince. He's on YouTube. He's on Instagram, TikTok. Are you anywhere else? Are you doing Twitter?
No Twitter.
Okay.
No Twitter.
And I'm Vince the Lawngineer. Thank you and have a good day.